Well, welcome to Beverley Minster, this great medieval church in the wonderful town of Beverley. And the town of Beverley grew up here, just sort of beyond the north porch of the Minster. We know there's a Saxon monastery here. We don't really know what happened after about the 9th century, but certainly by the 11th century it had been refounded as a collegiate church. The Saxon monastery had been the burial place of Bishop John of York, the founder, and in 1037 he was canonised. He was canonised as St. John of Beverley, and that attracted pilgrims to the town. And thereafter the Minster became a great place of pilgrimage, and the town of Beverley grew up. At the moment we're standing at the east end of the church. This is where the rebuilding began in about 1220, so we're looking at a building in the early English style. We've now moved to the nave of the church. This is the area that was built in the second phase from about 1300 onwards. But of course building work was halted in 1349 by the Black Death, which swept through England, and which caused so much church building to end. One of the great features of this period are the carvings of the medieval musicians, which you'll see all around the nave walls. The church has so many musicians' carvings, and this is, I think, of particular interest to people coming to the early music festival, because a lot of them show early musical instruments. It was in front of the Minster that the town of Beverley really began to develop, because once the pilgrims came, and also because you had this great staff of the collegiate church, which was really like a cathedral, you needed places for people to stay, you needed places for people to eat and to shop. So a big marketplace developed. The marketplace once extended to what's now called Wednesday Market, which is just a very small sort of vestigial remainder of it. It was obvious the town was going to expand, and it expanded northwards, where a great marketplace was laid out, the present marketplace, Saturday Market, and of course the fine church of St. Mary's was built, and that became the church of the merchant community. This very much was the collegiate church. The town developed rapidly. By 1377, it was the 11th most populous town outside London in England. Very prosperous, various trades and crafts, for instance brickmaking. Both Hull and Beverley were very early centres of brickmaking. It also had industries such as tanning, but particularly the cloth production, because this was an area from which they exported wool, but also made woolen cloth, particularly a famous cloth called Beverley Blue. So that really brought prosperity, and that coupled with the pilgrims coming made this a very prosperous town. Unfortunately, it was hit later. Two reasons. First of all, the cloth industry declined, so the economy went downhill, but also, of course, the great collegiate church was dissolved in 1548. Beverley also lost its 2 friaries, all the collegiate property was taken, and we then had a very poor town. And it wasn't for some time that Beverley really picked up again. This was in the early 18th century. What happened is Beverley became the administrative centre for the East Riding, as it still is now for the East Riding Council, of course. And once that happened, it brought a whole new raft of things into the town. We had theatres, assemblies, the racecourse. The racecourse had been there in the 17th century, but really had a new race stand built. The gentry came in, people moved into the town. They came to shop, but they came also to live. And that really improved the prosperity of Beverley. And really, the town has never looked back since. And I think if you come now, you'll realise what a wonderful place it is to visit, just to spend a weekend, to spend a week, even to come and live. Many people retire here. And of course, these 2 great churches, particularly the Minster, are really at the heart of the town.